Hello and welcome to another edition of Luminar Coffee Break. I'm your host, Vanelli. Now, our topic today is how to make a profile portrait look amazing. Now, this is the portrait we're going to be working with today. Now, this used to be very complicated for software to enhance, because in order for software to recognize a human face, it needed two eyes, a nose, a mouth, a chin, and so on. Well, what's so really cool and so powerful about AI portrait enhancer and AI skin enhancer is that it's self-learning. So the engineers were able to teach it that, hey, this is still a human face. Even though it's sideways, the portrait is still here, all right? It's still a portrait. So that's a really cool feature to have with Luminar, all right? Now, before we get into this, I do want to take a moment and thank our partner, Fujifilm, for helping make this possible. Fuji reminds us to stay safe, stay creative, and stay at home. Well, and we're back. Hey, everyone, welcome. And I'm glad to see a lot of people from Holland, from the UK, all over the world. This is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you like what we're doing, please hit that thumbs up. That gives our producers and everyone else recognition that we are doing a good job on these coffee breaks. Now, the coffee breaks are designed for us to sit together as a team and for you to ask questions. And if there's something I'm doing that you're wondering how it's been done, please leave those in the comments below. And if you have questions or if you have suggestions on future episodes, please leave that in the comments, all right? So again, please hit that thumbs up. All right, so here we are. Now, I'm gonna fire up Luminar. Good, I'm inside Luminar. And this is straight out of the camera. So I love how I got this. The Crown series is what inspired this on Netflix. The first thing I wanna do is, she had a piercing on her eyebrow and we had to take that out. So let's fix that real quick. So I'm going to click edit, I'm going to click the erase tool. Let's zoom right in. Look how amazing her eyelashes are. And just brush right over it. Great. I'm going to do a little again. A little too much. There we go. Erase. All right, there we are. And commit it. All right. All right, so now that we have the base set, and once I do this, you'll notice that it created a new layer. And the layer is called the erase layer, all right? So we already know that we erased that little blemish on top. Now, let's start with our edits. I'm gonna come to the essential the essential category, and just a little bit, I want to increase AI accent. So if I go too far, it's gonna look at the background, it's gonna think, you know what, this is underexposed, it wants to fix it. We don't want to do that. I purposely underexposed it so I can have that look. There we are. Now we have that set. Let's come right over to the Portrait Enhancer tool. All right. So I'm going to click on the Portrait Enhancer, and just so you can see that it recognizes the face, look at that. How cool is that? I don't need to put more light onto the face because I lit it just the way I wanted it. What I do need to do is come over here and really bring out the skin softening. I'm going to zoom in really tight so you can see this. Look how incredible it softens the skin and it keeps the pores. Now, zoom out just a little bit. There is a little shine going on here. So let's click on the shine removal. And I don't want to go too far with it, because then it's going to give you these little blotches. So I do want the shine just to be even. Right about here, that looks good. All right, so let's look. Before, after. Look how amazing it was able to see that side profile. Now, Portrait Enhancer, watch the eyes. This is so cool. Eye Enhancer, ready? Look at that. It goes right through the eyelashes and it knows right where the eye is. There's really not any dark circles under the eyes. That's what I usually go to next. But notice there's nothing there, so we're fine. All right. And there we have it. So we quickly enhance that portrait. Now, if I ended it right now, that's a whole, 3-4 minutes that we just spent. So I want to take this to completion because what I want to do is recreate that Crown series that you saw on Netflix. I want to recreate that. So what I need to do is the colors look phenomenal on her lips, but her skin is just a little too much. All right. So what we're going to do is, instead of messing with the color, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to convert it to black and white. Now watch this. There's black and white. We know that there's orange and red tones in a person's skin. So what I want to do is I don't want to go overboard with the reds because then we're right back where we started. What I want to do is just bring it out slightly. Look at that. Before and after. Right there, look at that. Before, there we go. After, I'm looking at the screen. Good. One more, just a little bit. That's 44, maybe 49. Too much. So I'm going to go back to 40, maybe 42. Yeah, I like 42. Now, the yellows are in her skin also. Look at that. I don't want to show the yellow, so I'll leave that at 0. There's no greens or cyan or blues, but watch the magenta in her lips. Look at that. So it brought it down into here. All right. So let's zoom out a little bit so we get the full size of it. Before, now we can see it, and after. Great. So we cleaned it up. We got it looking the way we want it to look. And I want to export it. And let's just call this crown. So I exported this. So I'm going to export this. And now what we're going to do is we're going to fire up Photoshop if you have Photoshop, just so you can see how this would actually be done in a studio. So if I were on set, I would photograph her, do all these cool, amazing things, then just hand off that image to the art director. And then the art director looks at it, excuse me, looks at it, analyzes it. They may do a little tweaking, or they hand it off to the graphics department, and the graphics department is to do a little tweaking on the photography side of this, and then they're going to create the poster. So that's the part that we're at right now, is the poster. So I have that set. Here we are in Photoshop. Now I've already created this here, and what I did was I went to a site called Theme Forest. And with Theme Forest, I typed in movie poster titles. And then it went in and found this for me. Now the only downfall, I'm going to double click on the container. The only downfall with this is, if you notice, let me make it easier for you to read it. Fill it with black. This right here is actually, these text files up in here are actually Adobe Illustrator. It's an Adobe Illustrator file. So if I were to double click on this, it would open up Adobe Illustrator, and then you would make the changes. Notice the first two, the Blockbuster, the Duchess of York. This here, I made it into text files so we could just edit it on the fly. But all of this down here is done in Adobe Illustrator. All right? So I'm going to close out of this. Now, File, and I want to place the embedded link of the Crown series we just did. Now, the reason why I put Actually, you know what? Yeah, there we go. But the reason why I did that was so it converted it to a smart object automatically for us. Then I could just adjust it and get it into place. Now that's on top, so I'm going to put it on the bottom. There we go. And now I can take the wording and just shift it over. But let me lock this layer. There we go. And move it over. Try it again. I want to click on these right here. See how it's going to the bottom? Let me lock that layer too. There we go. And did I lock that layer on top? Oh, I did. Okay, so I locked the wrong layer. There we go. I need to lock that layer and that layer. So this layer should be unlocked. There we go. See how it keeps going right down here? Lock it. And lock that layer. Good. Why is it not letting me? There we go. Nope. There we go. Finally. All right, so I'm going to move it over to position. Whew, there, finally. All right. Now, I did a little trick on you. Notice there's a little magenta up in the jewelry. Now, I have a choice. I can either go back into Luminar and fix it real quick, or what I can do is just double click one, or unlock it, double click on her, the image. Once I double click on this image, what I can do now is use, let's use saturation. Yep, let's try that. And we're going to come down to the magenta, because that's what I'm seeing up in here. And we're going to desaturate it. There it is. And it's set. Control S to save it. Okay, so it won't let me save it to that, but that's fine. So what I will do is something a little bit different. File, save as. And I'm going to name it a JPEG. And fixed. All right. And where I'm going to put it is on my C drive. And let's see. And that should go under photography. The crown. There we go. Save. All right. Now I saved it. Good. It's all set. However, when I come back to here, notice it's still like this. All right. So what I'm going to do, and the reason why it's like this is I never saved this image. So File, I want to save this as the Crown series. And of course, we'll put it into this. Now that I saved it, now if I go back over here and double click on it, it's not bringing it in. So let me try one last thing. I got it. Rasterize this layer. Now I'm going to recreate it as a smart object. Now if I double click on it, that's what I was looking for. PSB, Photoshop Big. All right, sorry for that extra step. So again, take it to the, what did we say? Hue and saturation. Change this to magenta. Drop the saturation. So now it's out of the crown. Now when I save it, it's going to take a second, and boom, it's automatically saved here. Now what's really cool about this is imagine if you're doing a wedding. In fact, let me show you this in full. Imagine this right here as a wedding, all right? So visualize you photographed a wedding like this, and on the bottom you could have all of the bride information. If this were, let's say, I apologize for mispronouncing it, quinceañera, the Hispanic Suite 15. You could use it for that. You could use it for confirmation. You could use it for first communion. You could use it for graduation. So this is a really cool design that you can set up. And then on the bottom of it, whatever the subject is, you could add all that text in there. But by creating a smart object, You could have this one template, and all you need to do is change out the photo, and all of it will just be applied automatically. All right? So one more time, just check it out. And again, we did it. We started in Luminar here and just quickly did some of these really, really cool techniques to it. All right? Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us on this special Luminar Coffee Break. Again, please hit that thumbs up and let us know how we're doing. If you have questions about this topic, please write it down, because that helps to add to other Luminar Coffee Breaks or episodes in the future. And if you do have questions or suggestions for other topics you'd like to see us cover, please put those in the comments below or shoot me an email at finelli@skylum.com. Again, thanks so much for joining us, and I'll see you at the next coffee break.